Hello students and friends. Welcome to Homeopathy Medicines. Today in this homeopathic Materia Medica lesson, I will discuss about homeopathic medicine Arsenicum iodatum. Before starting this video, please subscribe to this channel for Learn Homeopathy Online Free and Homeopathy Materia Medica. We need support from you to make this channel more beautiful and more informative. Now going to discuss about Arsenicum iodatum, its uses and symptoms. Is to be preferred for persistently irritating, corrosive discharges. The discharge irritates the membrane from which it flows and over which it flows. The discharge may be fetid, watery, and the mucous membrane is always red, angry, swollen, itches and burns. Influenza, hay fever, old nasal catarrhs, and catarrh of middle ear. Swelling of tissues within the nose. Hypertrophied condition of Arsenicum and tube and deafness. Senile heart, myocarditis and fatty degeneration. Pulse shotty. Chronic aortitis. Epithelioma of the lip. Cancer of breast after ulceration has set in. It seems probable that in arsenic iode, we have a remedy most closely allied to manifestations of tuberculosis. In the early stages of tuberculosis, even though there is an afternoon rise in temperature, Arsjad is very effective. It will be indicated by a profound prostration, rapid, irritable pulse, recurring fever and sweats, emaciation, tendency to diarrhea. Chronic pneumonia, with abscess in lung. Hectic, debility, night sweats. This remedy is also to be remembered in phthisis with horse, racking cough and profuse expectoration of a purulent nature, and attended with cardiac weakness, emaciation and general debility, in chronic, watery diarrhea in physical subjects, in cases of emaciation with good appetite, in amenorrhea, with anemic palpitation and dyspnea. In chronic pneumonia, when abscess is about to form. Great emaciation. Arteriosclerosis, myocardial degeneration and senile heart. Threatened by aemia, pyrog, methyl blue. Head, vertigo, with tremulous feeling, especially in aged. Nose, thin, watery, irritating, excoriating discharge from anterior and posterior nares, sneezing. Hay fever. Irritation and tingling of nose, constant desire to sneeze, pollenin. Chronic nasal catarrh, swollen nose, profuse, thick, yellow discharge, ulcers, membrane sore and excoriated. Aggravation by sneezing. Throat, burning in pharynx. Tonsils swollen. Thick membrane from fauces to lips. Breath fetid. Glandular involvement. Diphtheria. Chronic follicular pharyngitis. Eyes and ears, scrofulous ophthalmia. Otitis, with fetid, corrosive discharge. Thickening of tympanum. Burning, acrid coryza. Stomach, pain and pyrosis. Vomiting an hour after food. Nausea distressing. Pain in epigastrium. Intense thirst, water is immediately ejected. Respiratory, slight hacking cough, with dry and stopped up nostrils. Pleuritis exudativa. Chronic bronchitis. Pulmonary tuberculosis. Pneumonia that fails to clear up. Bronchopneumonia after grip. Cough dry, with little difficult expectoration. Aphonia. Fever, recurrent fever and sweats. Drenching night sweats. Pulse rapid, feeble, weak, irregular. Chilly, cannot endure cold. Skin, dry, scaly, itching. Marked exfoliation of skin in large scales, leaving a raw exuding surface beneath. Ichthyosis. Enlarged scrofulous glands. Venereal bow. Debilitating night sweats. Eczema of the beard, watery, oozing, itching, worse, washing. Emaciation. Psoriasis. Acne hard, shotty, endurated base with pustulate apex. From a study of the elements making up this agent, it may be known that it is a deep-acting constitutional remedy. Its complaints come on in the morning, afternoon, evening, night, after midnight. In hectic conditions, with many abscesses. Extreme anemia, such as belongs to tuberculous subjects. The patient craves open air when not too cold, wants the windows open, is sensitive to a close room. Marked general physical anxiety. The hands and feet tingle as if asleep and the limbs feel as if tied with a band. Complaints are worse from bathing, takes cold from bathing. It has been of the highest use in cancerous affections and has cured lupus and epithelioma. Its symptoms are often found in chlorotic girls. It has cured choric action of muscles in girls. Some are very sensitive to cold, like arsenicum, and others to heat, like iodine. It is sensitive to both heat and cold. Cold wind and cold wet weather make the patient worse and bring out symptoms. Always taking cold, which brings on coryza and increases his catarrhal troubles. Many constrictions, internal and external, and constrictions of orifices are found in this remedy. Convulsive movements of limbs, dropsy, external and internal, like arsenicum. He is worse when hungry and, like iodine, better after eating. Increasing loss of flesh and weight in physical patients, emaciation in children, extreme aggravation from slight physical exertion, in women who are subject to faintness and fainting spells. Formication all over the body. Hemorrhage from any mucous membrane. A sensation of being too warm, must have fresh air. Feeling of heaviness of the whole body in duration is a strong feature, sometimes in glands, in ulcers, in skin affections. The glands are swollen and hard. Inflammation, external and internal, in many parts, glands, bones and serous membranes. He has symptoms as though he had lost fluid. Extreme lassitude, lack of reaction, lying in bed and lying on the painful side makes the symptoms worse. She is worse during the menses, worse from motion, but desire to move. Mucus secretions generally increased, copious, catarrhal discharges, thick, yellow, or yellowish-green and honey-like. Numbness of the limbs and painful parts, flushes of heat and surging of blood in the body, pain in the bones and glands. Bruised sensation in the body. Burning internally and in outer parts, paralyzing pains, pinching, pressing, stitching and tearing pains. Predisposition to phthisis and complaints in the consumptive diathesis. There is much soreness, and pressure increases his suffering. Pulsation, internal and external, like iodine, the pulse is frequent and small, full, hard, intermittent, irregular. Burning is a strong feature, like arsenicum. It has been very useful in all scorbutic conditions when the symptoms were similar. Very sensitive to pain. The symptoms predominate on the right side. He is sensitive to the summer heat and the cold in winter, dropsical and inflammatory swelling, swelling in affected parts and in glands. It has been curative in all stages and forms of syphilis. Trembling and twitching of muscles. Walking makes him worse, especially walking fast, worse from warmth, warm air, warm bed, warm room and warm wraps. Weakness, like a vital prostration, in the morning, when ascending, on exertion, during menses, and on walking, worse in wet weather, worse from the warm south wind. Anger and irritability during all complaints, aversion to answering questions, extreme anxiety, restlessness and fear worse in a warm bed, confusion of mind morning and evening, delirium during the night, illusions of fancy and delusions about dead people. Sadness, even to despair, discontentment, and he is often in a state of great excitement. Mental exertion increases many of his symptoms. There is marked mental weakness, fear of insanity, of misfortune, of people, and he is generally timid. He is impatient and in a constant state of hurry. He becomes indifferent to his friends, to happiness and to his surroundings. Aversion to work. He seems to be going toward insanity. He is unable to decide between two opinions. He suffers from a sudden impulse to kill somebody. Very talkative at times, mirthful, changeable moods and alternating conditions of mind. A degree of mental prostration prevails continuously. He is oversensitive, especially to noise. inclination to sit, averse to being spoken to, and he starts during sleep. Persistent tormenting thoughts, wandering thoughts, stupefaction of mind. In the woman there is much weeping. Vertigo while walking. It will cure. Particulars given below when the generals above mentioned strongly predominate. Although there is hyperemia of the brain, the scalp feels cold. Eruptions crusty, scurfy, eczematous, the hair falls out and the head feels heavy, itching of the scalp, with and without eruptions. Pain in the morning and afternoon, better in open air, worse in warm room, better after eating and worse when hungry, worse from motion, noise, walking, pain in head from catarrh of nasal passages, with coryza, periodical headaches from malaria, with heart troubles and from syphilis, pain in forehead in the evening, above the eyes, over the root of the nose, pain in occiput, sides of head, temples and vertex, pressing pain in forehead, with sleepiness, pressing pain in occiput and temples, sore, bruised pain in the head, stitching in head, in temples, tearing pain in head. The head pains are stunning. Perspiration of the forehead, pulsating in the head, forehead, temples. Inflammation of the conjunctiva, and of the iris, chronic catarrhal condition of the eyes in sericant syphilitic subjects, easy lacrimation, worse in cold air, pain in eyes when reading, soreness of the eyeballs, stitching pain in eyes, protrusion of the eyeballs, pupils dilated, redness of eyes, staring look, sunken eyes. The lids are swollen and edematous, twitching of the lids. Wild look in the eyes are jaundiced, vision is dim, flickering, foggy and weak. Sparks before the eyes. The ears discharge an excoriating fetid buzz, buzzing, humming, ringing and roaring in ears. Catarrh of Ustachen tubes and middle ear, the pain is aching, stitching and tearing. Stopped sensation in ears, hearing is impaired. Most stubborn nasal catarrh with bloody, acrid, copious, excoriating, greenish, purulent, thick, yellow or yellow-greenish discharge, honey-like discharge, coryza with watery discharge, coryza in open air with cough. It has been a most useful remedy in hay fever, dryness in nose and epistaxis. Obstruction of nose, pain in nose. Smell lost. Much sneezing. Swelling inside of nose, ulceration in nose. The face becomes cold. Bluish lips and bluish circles about the eyes, brownish, earthy, or pale face. Again the face is red and there are circumscribed red cheeks. The face is sallow and jaundiced, yellow spots on the face, sickly look, the face looks drawn and emaciated, eruptions on face and nose, acne, eczema, pimples, pustules, expression sickly and old, pain in the face. Swelling of the glands of the lower jaw. Swelling of the submaxillary glands. Twitching of the face. In the mouth there are rifts. The gums bleed easily, and the tongue is cracked. The tongue is coated brown or white, mouth and tongue are dry at night and during sleep. The tongue feels enlarged, inflammation of the gums. Mucus in the mouth in the morning. The mouth is offensive, even putrid. Pain in the gums, sore, burning tongue, salivation, scorbutic gums. Speech stammering. Swollen gums. The taste is bad, bitter, putrid, saltish, sour, sweetish. Teeth feel elongated, pain in the teeth after eating, tearing pain in the teeth. Much choking in the throat, dryness in the throat, membranes form in the throat, burning in the throat, constantly scraping the throat. Swallowing difficult. Swollen throat, ulceration of the throat from syphilis. The appetite is increased, even ravenous, aversion to food, constriction of the stomach is distended. He desires stimulants. Sensation of emptiness, eructations empty, sour, water brush, sensation of fullness in the stomach. Frequent attacks of heartburn, load in the stomach after eating, indigestion and much hiccup, chronic gastritis, loathing of food, nausea after eating. Pain after eating, burning, cramping, cutting, gnawing, pressing and stitching pains in the stomach, pulsating, retching when coughing, sensation of tightness in stomach, thirst, evening, extreme, thirst during meal, unquenchable thirst, trembling in the stomach, continuous vomiting, vomiting with diarrhea, after drinking, after eating, after milk, violent vomiting, vomiting of bile, blood, food, vomiting yellow, watery substance. The abdomen is distended with flatus, the flatulency is obstructed and there is much rumbling. Enlargement of liver, spleen, mesenteric glands, glands of groin. Inflammation of the intestines, liver and spleen. It has many complaints of the liver. Pain in abdomen after eating, during menses, during stool, better by external warmth. Pain in hypogastrium, hypochondria, groin, liver, spleen and umbilical region, burning, cramping, drawing pain in abdomen, cutting in abdomen during stool, cutting pain in liver, pressing pains and soreness in liver, stitching pains in hypochondria, pulsating in abdomen, restless feeling in abdomen, pain and soreness in spleen. Very troublesome constipation, diarrhea alternating with constipation, stool hard, knotty and light-colored. The diarrhea comes in the morning and after eating, in old people, excoriating stool. Dysentery with bloody, mucus stools and tenesmus, diarrhea with brown, copious, frequent, offensive, yellow or white watery stools, ineffectual urging to stool, urging after stool, offensive flatus. External biles. Itching of anus. Burning in anus after stool. It acts deeply upon the bladder and kidneys. It has been most useful in Addison's disease. Retention of urine, constant or frequent urging to urinate, worse during the night, urination is dribbling and involuntary, suppression of urine, the urine is albuminous, cloudy, dark, red, copious or scanty and offensive. The genital organs present many symptoms and complaints. Erections, strong toward morning, later incomplete and wanting. It cures hydrocele and induration of the testes. Itching of the penis and glands, perspiration of the genitals, seminal emissions, swelling of the testes, ulcers on the penis, chancres and chancroids with bows. It has been a great comfort to the women in many complaints. It has restrained the progress of cancer of uterus in a notable manner, the burning and odor are removed and the ulceration is lessened. Life has been prolonged to 4 years in several cases. Sexual desire is increased. It has cured enlargement and induration of the ovaries, it has cured inflammation of the ovaries. Leukorrhea, acrid, bloody, burning, copious, after menses, thick or thin, yellow, menses absent or suppressed, copious, frequent, late, painful, short. Hemorrhage from the uterus, pain in ovaries, especially the right, sore, bruised genitals and ovaries. Prolapsus of the uterus, swollen ovaries. It has stopped the growth of ovarian tumors. Crupus condition of the larynx. Dryness in the air passages. Inflammation of the larynx and trachea, much mucus in the larynx and trachea, spasmodic conditions of the larynx like laryngismus, burning rawness and soreness in larynx and trachea, phthisis of the larynx. The voice is hoarse, rough and weak and finally lost, respiration is fast and asthmatic, respiration is difficult at night, on ascending, on exertion and motion, with palpitation, respiration is irregular, rattling, short, suffocative and wheezing. Asthma from 11 p.m. until 2 a.m. The cough is in the morning, evening and after midnight. The cough is asthmatic, croupy, deep, dry, exhausting, during fever, cough from irritation and tickling in larynx and trachea. The cough is loose, spasmodic, suffocative, worse from motion and talking, worse in a warm room. It cures whooping cough. Expectoration most in the morning, is bloody, copious, greenish yellow, difficult, mucus and bloody, mucus offensive, purulent, tough, viscid, yellow, tasting putrid, saltish, sweetish. There is marked anxiety in the region of the heart. Catarrh of the bronchial tubes. Constriction of the chest, of the heart, fatty degeneration of the heart. Enlarged and painful mammæ. Heat in the chest. Inflammation of the bronchial tubes, endocardium, pericardium, lungs and pleura, murmurs of the heart, stitching of the skin of chest, oppression of the chest and heart in a warm room, pain in the side of chest, in the heart, burning in the chest, cutting pain in chest and in the heart, pressing pain in chest, rawness in chest, stitching pain in chest on coughing, palpitation from excitement, from exertion, tumultuous palpitation, paralysis of the heart, of the lungs. It is a very useful remedy in ulcerative conditions during phthisis, swollen axillary glands, tremulous heart, tumor of the axilla. Great weakness of chest and heart. Pain in the back during menses, pain in the lumbar region during menses, pain in sacrum and coccyx. Coldness of hands, legs and feet, cramps of upper limbs, lower limbs, thighs, legs and feet, scaly eruptions, eczema and vesicles, heat of hands, heaviness of the limbs as though tired, heaviness of the feet. Hip joint disease. Itching of all the limbs, numbness of all the limbs, fingers, legs and feet, pain in all the joints, gouty and rheumatic pain in upper limbs, pain in elbow, forearm, hip, thigh, knee, foot, drawing in lower limbs, thighs, knees, stitching pain in shoulders, wrists and knees, tearing in joints, elbows, fingers, paralytic weakness in upper limbs, paralysis of lower limbs. Cold perspiration of hands and feet. Stiffness of limbs, of fingers. Dropsical swelling of hands, legs and feet, trembling of hands and lower limbs, twitching of upper limbs and legs, weakness of upper limbs and knees. Dreams amorous, anxious, of dead people. Distressing, vivid, nightmare. Restless sleep, sleepiness in the evening, sleepless after midnight, waking too early. Chill at night in bed, chill external and internal, worse from motion. Quartan, tertian shaking chill, periodicity marked, warm room does not ameliorate the chill. Fever afternoon and night, fever alternates with chill, fever and chill intermingle, dry, external heat, flushes of heat, chronic intermittent fever, internal heat with external coldness, fever with no sweat, and desire to uncover. Hectic fever. Perspiration morning and night, cold sweat, exhausting sweat, sweat on motion, or on slight exertion, profuse night sweats. Anesthesia of the skin, burning skin, the skin is jaundiced, liver spots and red spots. The skin is cold to touch, dryness of the skin with inability to perspire. Many eruptions on the skin, boils, pustules, rash and scales, moist eruptions, eczema, itching eruptions, herpes, psoriasis. It has cured ichthyosis. Dry, scaly, burning eruptions, urticaria. It cures all syphilitic eruptions where the symptoms agree, where eruptions have been suppressed by local treatment. Excoriation, erysipelas, formication, endurations, itching, burning and stinging, rough skin, purpura hemorrhagica. Dropsical, spongy swelling of skin, ulcers with bleeding or bloody discharges, with corrosive watery, yellow discharge. Cancerous ulceration. Indolent and indurated ulcers, sensitive and suppurating ulcers, ulcerative pain in ulcers, in old syphilitic ulcers. Psoriasis. Thanks for watching this video. If you want more videos like Arsenicum iodatum, please subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. To learn homeopathy course online free with Homeopathy Materia Medica. Comment us your feedback and what you want in the next video. Like and share this video with your friends and family. For paid and free consultancy online, visit homeopathymedicines.com and maishclinic.com. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay healthy, stay happy.